Okay, so for the Jungians, the first step outside the persona
Jungians
was the
meaning
shadow.
Carl Jung. Yeah.
Followers of Carl Jung, or students of better terminology, was discovery of the shadow. Oh, I thought I was the good person here, but it turns out that I've got like some darkness. And you often see this with, imagine you have hyper-compassionate people who are dependent, and they won't engage in conflict, so they're always oppressed. And so then when you talk to them, you find out they're really, really resentful, and they have a lot of fantasies of revenge, like a lot. And so then you work with them and you think, okay, you have something to say and do here. You've got some harsh words to say, maybe to your partner. You've got some things to say to your boss. You got to spine up and say it. And that's part of incorporating that, especially aggression. So agreeable people, compassionate people don't like aggression. But like, that's like not liking sex. It's dangerous. But it's necessary. And so you want to integrate it. And if you don't, it has its own life. You know, you see people all the time who, they're so nice. You can't even be in the same room with them. They're that nice. But they're resentful and passive aggressive. They take it out in all sorts of ways, partly because they're always unhappy. They're often moralistically judgmental because they're not saying what they have to say. They got to integrate that shadow. So that was part of it. And the shadow consists of, in part, all the things about you that you've deemed morally unacceptable and failed to develop. And so sometimes that's aggression, often. Sometimes it's sexuality, often. And so it'll manifest itself in impulsive, aggressive sexuality, say under conditions of alcohol intoxication when it leaks out.
Aggressive, meaning like rough sex? Like
Forced. Yeah, definitely.
Forced. So you mean like rape?
Well, or it doesn't have to go all the way to rape. It can be like over-aggressive sexual compulsion in a dating situation.
So does that account for certain men that like violence in their sex, like they like abuse in their sex? Like,
yes.
Because there's a subset of men that like to hit women during sex.
Yeah.
And a lot of them turn out to be these like kind of male feminist types, which is really strange.
No, it's not.
But it's
exactly
really
what you'd predict.
strange on the outside.
Definitely.
When you find out.
It's strange to those men too, because it's very unsettling for them to see, you know, in the cloud of their niceness and their harmlessness, this deep, dark desire making itself manifest.
Stopping it there, and welcome to Mika Reaction Reviews, where we react to things on the internet. And today we're reacting to Dr. Peterson and Joe Rogan. And first of all, Dr. Peterson always just looks so handsome. It looks like he's going to like some really fancy opera or something like that with his tuxedo or his suit. Loves it. So right now they're talking about Carl Jung, or like the shadow self, and I'm really big into Carl Jung, and I have definitely dove deep into the conversation of shadow self. But what not knowing how to work or confront your shadow self, which is like a part of ourselves that everyone have, whether you want to deny it or not, you have it. But when you deny it and you don't work with it, you don't know how to use it as a tool, it kind of comes out in a very toxic way. It's like if you do not confront your feelings or your emotions or how you feel about something, no matter how much you suppress it, it will always come to the surface. The truth will always come to the surface. But if you don't know how to deal with it properly, it usually comes out again in really toxic manners, like you said, aggression, or when you drink, or when you're intoxicated, or when you do drugs, or going into depression or something like that. Or sometimes it can even come out in like physical ailments like ulcers, or like sometimes like you can get like jaw problems because you're grinding your teeth subconsciously because you're actually like really irritated or angry, but you're not expressing it. I've often said like some of the most woke, progressive, politically correct people I've met in my life, if you hang out with them long enough, that mask, that shadow always comes out, but they're usually very oblivious to it. It usually like goes right over their head because they're not acknowledging it, right? Or male feminists who are suppressing their own masculinity because they think it's toxic or wrong, having this sort of resentment towards the alpha macho guy because they truly want to express it, but because they've convinced themselves that they shouldn't because it's toxic or wrong or whatever, they don't understand why they resent that guy who isn't afraid to be who he truly is. And so they have this underlying resentment. But anyway, we're getting right back into the video. I just wanted to stop it there and talk about the Little Shadow Self Park. So I think that's a really interesting conversation. But we're getting back into it. But before you do, if you like the type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below. And if you like, you can super thanks. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here we go.
Remember that case of that Canadian broadcaster who was this guy who was like, really talks like this, very calm, and then a bunch of women came out that dated him, said he beat the shit out of them, and he would want to beat them up during sex. Like really beat them up, like punch them in the face. And
Yeah,
stuff.
well, you know, it's an open question how much assertiveness there should be in sex. And that
But that's
the
not-
answer's zero. No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying in the least that that's
Right.
acceptable. Let me be absolutely clear here.
Well, I was
That's
just
not
going to say
acceptable
that's
at all.
not assertiveness.
No, it's not. It's repressed. It's repressed. It's what's repressed. There's no clearer way of saying it. It's like, look, many men are terrified of women, many, and so that terror might manifest itself, even in a relationship, in the inability to ever let the partner know what they really want.
They're terrified for what reason? Because of
Rejection.
rejection? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the feelings of inadequacy that produces, often which are necessary. They're necessary.
Right.
Right.
I was trying to explain this to a friend once where we had a friend of ours who had developed what seemed to be like a real hate for women. And he wasn't an attractive guy. And so we were having this conversation and I said, imagine if all of your interactions with women hurt your feelings. And you're not a very thoughtful and introspective person, you would immediately associate women with negative feelings and you'd be angry about them. And that's what's happening to that guy. He got a bad roll of the dice in terms of his facial features and his genes. It just wasn't that good. And so he was not, girls were not interested in him. So he had developed this anger. And it was shocking.
Yeah. Welcome to the human race.
It's shocking to, well, that's incels, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we've been seeing a lot of this go on lately, right? The red pill, the manosphere, the walk away, incels. You know, Dr. Jody Peterson has been accused of being the king of the incels, which is ridiculous because he's not an incel. And he says things that directly contradict a lot of incel rhetoric, like blaming all women and not taking any accountability onto yourself, fixing yourself, cleaning your own room, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and stuff like that, which is what a lot of what Dr. Jody Peterson preaches, right? He doesn't preach this whole like women should lower their standards or all the male problems are just on modern women. He's very much like you have to be accountable for yourself, which why also recognizing the advancement of women have sort of shaking up the gender norms or the social expectations of what we expect out of relationships these days, right? And the idea of a man being terrified of women, I don't know, like I guess I never thought about it that way. I've recognized that it must be really hard to have to constantly deal with, you know, repetitive or just rejection on a regular basis. If you are a dude who's putting himself out there, then you're going to put yourself out there and possibly being rejected constantly. And if you're, like he said, if you're not an introspective person and you take it personally, then that can really like hurt that person's ego or that person's feelings. And then why would you want to constantly try to talk to someone who's constantly like jabbing at your ego or jabbing at your emotions or whatever? I guess, you know, men and women are terrified or fearful of different things when it comes to the opposite gender. You know, it's that whole quote of like men are scared of being laughed at and women are scared of being murdered or something like that. Some sort of quote like that. And it's supposed to be damaging to men to say like, oh, you're just scared of being humiliated, but women are scared of losing their lives. But it's you have to see it from their point of view, from the male point of view. Like, men want to feel, from what I know, from what I've heard, from men, from books that I've heard, from people smarter than me, men want to feel like they're needed. They want to feel like the dude, that you need me, that I can go and rescue you or provide or make you feel secure or protect you or whatever. And the last thing they want is to be told that they're inadequate in those things, and sort of they're being laughed at or being rejected is sort of a way that somebody might internalize that of being inadequate as what a man is supposed to be or is supposed to embody or whatever. But definitely the thing you shouldn't do is, again, allow that shadow self inside you to manifest that rejection in a really toxic manner, where it will just eventually be more detrimental to you as an individual than anyone else, right? I don't know what all the answers are. I don't think it is to shove women back into the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. I think that the world has evolved and it needs to be sort of leveled out. Women should feel like they have the ability to still be housewives without being told that they are giving to the patriarchy or being told that they're anti-feminist or whatever. But also the idea that women are just going to completely leave the workforce is just never going to happen, because first of all, the economy is never going to provide that for anyone. Most men cannot afford a housewife, right? I think we just have to learn how to evolve, but balance the scales again. But this sort of being angry at the opposite gender and just being divisive with each other isn't going to fix the issue either. But anyway, I'm gonna stop it here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel any further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below, and links to all of the eternal platforms I'm on, including my Rumble, my Odyssey, my Minds.com, my Discord, my Twitter, all the other YouTube channels I have, always in the links down below. And if you like, guys, you can super thanks. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually the most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day.